Hey, I'm Alex Radcliffe from BoardGameCo, and it's time for another 17 Board Game Arena reviews. This is a series where I play a lot of games on BoardGameArena, and then once I play 17 new-to-me games on BoardGameArena, I then do a video telling you what I think and ranking those games on BoardGameArena. That's what this video series is. I think I've done 3 already. This is number 4, which means I have played, since starting the series, quick math, 68 new-to-me games on BoardGameArena. In general, let's go through a few things before we dive into this. Number 1, Allplay is a channel sponsor. If you go to Allplay over here, allplay.com, you can get a variety of games from a variety of publishers that they work with, both their own games as well as the publishers they work with, all for $4 flat rate shipping if you're in the US. Every region has its own shipping costs, but $4 flat rate shipping to bundle any games from a whole bunch of different publishers. Number 2, these games over here, they're all the Board Game Arena games. They are going to be ranked from least to most. I find there's usually a nice mix over here of some games that are really, really good. In fact, one of my favorite games of all time actually made the cut this week because of the way I do these lists. We'll talk about that. But then there's a lot of games that are forgettable. I play a lot of different games. I'm also going to have to give a very clear disclaimer as to why the game that's last is last. So with that said, let's go ahead and dive into these. I will say I will give a rating score with these. I will also tell you when I've played a game more than once, because usually I only call it a review if I've played a game at least twice. While I will give scores in here with Board Game Arena, very often I have only played the game one time unless I enjoyed it, in which case I play it more than one time because I enjoyed it. Or sometimes I give it a second play because the game is notable enough to deserve a second play. With that said, I don't welcome the hate I'm about to get, but I am about to get pushback on this first one. My least favorite from the 17 games is going to be Anachrony. Anachrony is my least favorite here, but that's specifically because of the way I prioritize. When I think about these games, I'm thinking about my desire to play them. Like, what would my desire to play those games be? And Anachrony is the lowest on this list because it is not a short game, and I don't enjoy it. There are games that are far worse than Anachrony in a second. We're going to get to a bunch of games that are worse than Anachrony, but for me, I'd rather play a short, stupid, 20-minute game than a game that I didn't enjoy that's 2 hours long. Also, I have played Anachrony twice. Specifically, I gave the second play because of how notable it is. I don't think Anachrony is for me. It's really not the worst. It's really not the worst game, but it doesn't click with me. It's an 8.0. I mean, it's an 8.0. It's ranked as 6.2. That's a notable rating. That means something. But for me personally, I didn't enjoy it. I see where people can find the joy in it. I just feel like I'm placing out my mechs, trying to get water, and doing things that don't feel like they synergize very well, even though they probably do. This is a feelings thing. I'm sorry. It's a well-loved game. I'm not trying to take away from that. I'm telling you that having played it twice, because it's well-loved, I bounced off this one hard. So this is my least favorite. I would give this a 2 out of 5, unfortunately. And that just reflects my own opinion. It does not reflect a judgment of the game itself. When you hate a game, when you dislike a game that is this well loved, it comes with a lot of disclaimers to acknowledge the potential counter opinions that are out there. With that said, number 16 over here is going to be Booty Dice. Yes, I would rather play Booty Dice again over Anachrony. I think Booty Dice is a worse game. I really, to be very clear, Booty Dice is a worse game, but it'll be over in like 20 minutes compared to Anachrony, which will not be over for 2 hours. That's the key disclaimer over here. Booty Dice, maybe I rank this one lower. Do I rank this one lower? Yeah, Booty Dice I'd give a 1, a 1.5, maybe a 1.5. Okay, so rating-wise, depends on how you want to do this. Am I ranking this in order of rating, desire to play them? Because rating-wise, I would give Booty Dice a worse score. I would just rather play this one again because it's going to be over very soon. I tried this one on BGA, played it just the once. I thought it was terrible. It's like a terrible game of rolling dice and then collecting stuff and doing stuff to your opponents. I don't understand how a game like this gets made in today's day and age. There are better games that do similar things so much better. I don't see the merit of this being made other than, hey, I want to make a game and make it. It's actually, and this I feel bad, I just realized, it's designed by Eric Olson, the designer of Flip 7. And I think Flip 7, and this is the tricky part, this is the interesting thing about striking magic. Flip 7 is a game that's just okay. On the surface, it's just okay. But somehow when you play it, it's magic. Somehow when you play it, it works. It's fun. It is one of the more played games in my house. My kids always ask to play it. I'm happy to play it. It's fun. It's straightforward. There are better push your luck games, but Flip 7 has some sort of addictive quality that made it work. So I guess Booty Dice's attempt to do something similar in dice games, for me, the magic did not happen on Booty Dice. Then we have Irish Gauge over here. I don't like this genre. I tried playing this I was on my list of games to play this year. I have a whole list of games I'm trying to get played. This is one of them. This is one of those I try, and I did not like it, unfortunately. It's not bad. It just felt very slow, very stock-taking, buying and selling your stocks and shares in companies, building up the values. I find games like this are a bit more too mathematically inclined. Just played it the one time, but these types of games are a bit too mathematically inclined. where I appreciate that math is a good part of any good Euro game, but I like the math to be kind of in the background. When the math feels like the entire point of the game, as it did with Irish Gauge and this genre in general, it's not bad. I just didn't care for me. I'd give this one a solid 3 out of 5. Honestly, by the way, if you watch the last 17 PGA games video, this one has a lot better games overall. Some very solid games at the top, but overall, Irish Gauge, a 3 out of 5. It's not bad. I just wasn't particularly pulled in by it. Tower Up. Same kind of situation. I'd give this a 3 out of 5. It's basically you're taking turns drafting pieces or playing buildings on the board, capping off the various buildings while attempting to score various goals. I was very interested in this one when it was like, I think it was Gen Con last year. I was very excited for it, very interested. I heard a lot of buzz. I don't know. I just didn't find this to be that interesting. I found the decision space to be kind of derivative. I didn't feel a sense of accomplishment as I played the game. Even when I did well, I was like, that was okay. I placed the token down. And I think sometimes about these games, and this applies to Anachrony as well, I think sometimes it's just about whether you can recognize the pattern there, whether you see the pattern that others see. There's so many games that I love that I think that, like, how could you not love that game? And the answer is we all are different people and games strike us in different ways. Tower Up was okay. Nothing wrong with it. It just didn't spark any joy as I played it. Mexica is interesting. Mexica, I'm still going to give this a 3 out of 5, but this one I actually do see more joy in the decisions I made that would potentially get me some cool moves. It's kind of an area control game where you're blocking off sections of the board. As you play the game, you're basically cutting off sections of the board in order to create these little areas where you're going to place your pieces in order to score points. A lot more to it. I'm trying to keep it simple over here. I think the thing for me is this felt, again, had a little bit of that Irish Gauge aspect. At different points, it felt like I'm just trying to optimize. I have 6 actions. How am I going to spend them? That one get me 14 points. That one get me 10 points. It felt like a lot of min-maxing to try to find the perfect move. But then also it has that aspect where everything you do can be undermined by your opponents, which I can appreciate to an extent. But when it's to this level, the game here is not can you stop your opponent from going in on your space. The game is your opponents are going to go on your space. You're going to go on in their space. Can we min-max the perfect way that's going to maximize how I take points from them while minimizing how they take points from me? I found it to be a little too cutthroat and a little too much work to get to the point of having that perfect game, that I both appreciate the highs of this more and also kind of like I just don't want to play a game that I have to think that hard about how to protect myself. I'd rather play a different game instead. Give me full area control or give me more of a Euro, one or the other. Rallyman Dirt coming in at a 3.5 out of 5. We bump up a little. No, I'm gonna give this a 3. I'm gonna give this a 3. I think just go looking at the rest of these, I think this is still a 3. I enjoy Rallyman Dirt. I enjoyed it with a caveat, and I think that part of this is just that I don't love racing games to begin with. I think I've yet to find a racing game that really wowed me. And Rallyman Dirt has an interesting dice system where you're choosing the dice to roll, either one at a time as you move zone by zone, or all at once, risking the consequences but gaining time out of it. I think that for me, the challenge and the fun of the choosing your dice, that part I enjoyed a bit more, and I could see it being a 3.5 in theory, but the whole seconds mechanic is the way you count your seconds in terms of it. It felt less like a race that we are both involved in together, and it felt more like we are both doing our own separate races and happening to score as we do this. It felt like they managed to make multiplayer solitaire, they managed to make a racing game multiplayer solitaire. That was interesting to me. I felt a sense of aloneness while I raced on a track, and that kind of took away from an actual system. The actual dice system, I think that's why I kind of hesitated on the 3.5. What I did on my turn was a 3.5. I like that aspect of how far do I push it and how can I manage moving. But then the second system, on top of it all, that kind of dialed it back for me and made it feel like multiplayer solitaire, even as I raced around the track with others. Carnuta, this is another 3 out of 5. I played this one, so this is an interesting one. So sometimes with games, this one I actually played first physically, okay? So I played this one first physically for the first time at PAX Unplugged. They're running a demo of it. But then I'm also talking about it here because I'm probably not going to cover it. So this one kind of breaks the rule a little bit. This wasn't a BGA find. I have since played it on BGA, and so I'm talking about it here because, yeah, I don't plan on talking about it elsewhere. But Carnuta basically is a game of you're trying to gather cards and then play those cards, and all those cards are going to give you symbols and score off symbols. If you've played games like Point Salad, it's kind of like that, but just its own spin on it. Overall, it was fine. It was totally fine. I've enjoyed playing it. I would happily play it on BGA again. It's a solid 3 out of 5. I think it's fine. But I wouldn't seek it out. It didn't necessarily do anything particularly new in this genre. Oh, I have a cat coming to my lap. 1 second. Hey, Calcifer, you can come down. Yep, good, come on. Yep, exactly, perfect. Give me a second, I just need to adapt with this cat over here. Yeah, it just felt like, do you want to be held? I can hold you a little bit. Let me just do this, Okay. I'm going to be a little low on my chair now because of the cat. But anyways, Carnuta was fine. I thought it was a decent game of point scoring as you try to manage the various cards. I just didn't think there was anything special about it. It was just a fine game. Up or down? This was an interesting one. You're playing with cards around a central tableau. Let me see if I can find a picture. Over here, kind of you have a tableau over here, and you have these cards that you're drafting. You're placing the cards, not drafting. You're placing the cards in between other cards in order to gather those cards and then create 3 stacks. You want 3 stacks that are going to be ascending or descending in value, which has you trying to figure out how to get the right cards, but also being mindful of the fact that as you play the game, you can only ever have 3 stacks, which means you might have to destroy a stack if you don't plan. If you're a little too ambitious, you may end up destroying stacks instead. I thought the system itself was fun. I enjoyed it, but I would give this a 3 out of 5 because I felt it was way too luck dependent on good draws and bad draws, and it's the kind of game you can play the whole way through, and then at the end you get struck with something that's not fun for you. So I thought it was fun. I'd play it again, but a 3 out of 5. We have the Last Droids. This one I'd also give a 3 out of 5. I think this is like, yeah, this was like, I played this a few times. I actually played this one a few times because I was kind of intrigued by it. I think I played it like 3 or 4 times, so maybe it should be higher. But overall, the issue with this one is, first of all, I feel I played it out after 3 plays. I think I've seen everything the game has to see. But you're basically choosing cards, and you're offering them on the table, and you're trying to draft cards. Your opponent will get the other one. You're taking turns who has first choice and who's going to get the other ones, as you try to build up your combinations of cards, and each one has different ways that they're going to score for different things. You're also adding like little divots to your household where you can store resources. There's side cards, like special cards you can buy. Overall, this is a decision game which you're either building a card or discarding it for its resources. You're building it or scrapping it, which makes sense. It's a droid. But overall, again, it was fun. It was fun. Nothing particularly amazing. I did enjoy it enough. Maybe after my first play, I think that's probably it. After my first play, I probably would have given it a 3.5. It was just good enough to be intriguing. That's why I played it again. But then 3 plays in, I felt I've seen everything I need to see, and I just don't, yeah, it was okay. It was okay. We have the Game Makers. The Game Makers is another one that I tried over on BJ. The cat's gone. I don't think he likes it when I do it like that. He has a way. He likes it when I'm kind of totally leaned back and working. This is not his jam. Anyways, the Game Makers. The Game Makers is from Bezier Games. I tried it on BoardGameArena. Again, as part of one of my goals of games I'm trying to play this year. I do want to play it again. I'm going to give this one a 3.5 out of 5. I scored horribly. I played it one time. I want to try it more. I enjoyed the system enough as far as the delayed action system, as far as how you place your workers on this rondel, so to speak. But the further ahead you place, the better the benefits you get. You're trying to gather all these components to make games. You're trying to put those components into a display case so you can score for them. Lots of interesting things happening here. I don't think this is a game that I'm going to love, but I like it enough that I want to play it a second time at the very least to get a better sense of it, because I lost horribly, but I also feel I was only getting a good sense of how the game worked towards the end. So it's one of those games I could play it 3 times and be like, it's down to a 3 now. That's possible. But at least based on my first play, it's a 3.5. I want to try this more. We have Orapa Mine, another 3.5 over here, 3.5 out of 5 to be clear. This is an interesting game of deduction. You're basically kind of shooting lasers into this grid, and how the lasers shoot and how they bounce out is going to create a kind of answer of where and what color the laser bounced off. And you don't know where the pieces are in the grid, you just make a choice. I'm going to be shooting a laser upwards from P. And then you're like, oh, like in this example over here, a laser upwards from P would bounce back being a white beam, because it hit a white brick on a flat side and bounce back. But if you shot a laser in over here from the side, from 16, it would bounce off white, then hit the red over here, and come out here. So you'd know that you shot a laser in, and it came out pink, because white plus pink, on this number. And so as you shoot these lasers or make educated guesses, you learn information about what grids are, what tokens are on the board, and your goal is to figure it out faster than your opponent, while both of you are dealing with the same publicly available information. Your guesses are recorded publicly so everyone can see them. It's an interesting deduction game. I enjoyed it. Not one I need to play a lot, but I definitely enjoyed it. St. Petersburg. Another 3.5 out of 5, an older classic I've been wanting to play for a long time. This is one that basically has you drafting cards. That's all it's going on. It's kind of buying cards, not really drafting them. You're buying them from a grid, and you're just trying to build up a tableau as you go. I enjoyed that aspect overall, with the caveat that it just felt like the entire game was buy card, build tableau, and it didn't feel like there was a key moment of interesting more than that. It feels like a game of its time. It's a 2004 title, and it feels like a 2004 title. Granted, sometimes I play games from like that far back, and I'm like, this is so simple, so elegant, so amazing. It depends on the game. St. Petersburg feels like a decent game. It's a 3.5. I think that's 7.3 rating. That checks out. I enjoyed it. I'd be happy to play it again. I think this is one that I played twice, but it's just a good tableau building game with nothing special past that. Popcorn, another 3.5 out of 5. I kind of enjoyed this. I want to play it more. I don't think it's going to grow for me. I want to play this one more. I've only played it once so far. But you're basically gathering movies. That's what you're doing. You're kind of you're taking a turn to either buy better seats for your theater or buying movies to play in your theaters, and the movies get less interesting over time, which makes sense. People are watching those movies, so they slowly time out out, having less opportunities for how you cash in on them. I thought it was an interesting dice pool game that, for me, the biggest hang up is there's too much of a luck aspect as far as the bag building on the meeples and whether that works out in your favor. I just think the mitigation of how a bad hand can work out can really cripple you across the course of the game. But overall, I thought it was fun. I don't think it's an amazing game. I thought it was a cute theme, a fun game, something that's like a solid 3.5 as the rating I gave it. Miams, I kind of like this one. I've played this like 3-4 times so far. I'd happily play this one again. This is like, it's a 6.8 over here, like don't read into it, but like I enjoyed it. But I enjoyed it with the caveat that I don't think it's a high strategy dependent game. It's just a game that I had fun playing because like basically what you're doing in the game, let me see if I can find like some more components. Let's see, images, go to images. You're basically trying to, and it's not a great component pictures here. I mean, nothing that shows you the stuff you're doing. Maybe this one over here. You're basically rolling dice, okay? You're rolling dice in the game, and you're going to be using those dice to check off. Like, oh, did you get a pair? Did you get a full house? But then also, the main reason I like this game is because you also buy cards every turn to build up your own way to break the rules. Oh, I could turn watermelon into berries. That helps me have a better chance of rolling for, you know, sets. I can go ahead and discard this card to get extra rerolls. You have all these cards you're buying, and that made the game fun. It's what gave the game replayability. The first game on its own would have been like a 2.5, maybe a 3. Without the cards that make the game interesting, it's a forgettable Yahtzee-ish game where you get 1 reroll, not 2. It's an okay game. Nothing bad about it, just like it's been done before. The cards made it interesting. The cards made it fun. It's quick, it's simple, it's engaging, a solid 3.5, but the kind of game that because it's a 10-minute filler on BGA, I can see myself. I think this is another one I'll be returning to. I enjoyed this. Dewan. Dewan is another one that I've played twice over here, at least twice so far. I assume I'll play it more. This is one that, so far, I don't feel the need to own it in person, but I do like it enough to be a board game arena rotation game. Basically, what you're doing is you're trying to build camps in the game. You're building camps on this board by drafting cards from a display, and then trading those cards in to move around the board creating camps. You're doing that because you have certain goals that you're creating. You have these other cards up top that say, oh, you want to have camps on these symbols or these terrain types. You're trying to draft these goals in synergy with the cards you draft while trying to build out on a board that you're all competing over. It's straightforward. It's straightforward. It's fine. I don't think, again, definitely didn't wow me. Like, the more I talk about it, the more I'm like, I will never buy this game. Nothing against it. I think it's a fun enough game to play on Board Game Arena. I don't think it does anything particularly special to make it a game that I feel the need to own in my collection. Number 2 over here. We're down to 2 left over here. We have Maracaibo. Maracaibo is my second highest, and I do want to play this more, and I want to play it in person. I've only played it once on Board Game Arena so far, and I liked it enough to be like, okay, well, I'll play it in person too. But I'm playing Maracaibo. It's on my list of games I wanted to table, specifically because I love Pirates of Maracaibo. I think Pirates of Maracaibo is absolutely fantastic, one of my favorite games, and I want to see the big brother that's based on. And so far, based off of one play, Maracaibo is fun. It's not Pirates of Maracaibo. Not for me. I grant that Maracaibo is ranked higher. For me, I'm like, Pirates of Maracaibo just feels like a better system here. I don't know why. Like, if you've played Maracaibo and Pirates of Maracaibo, why do you like Maracaibo more? And I recognize that there are those who like Maracaibo more, and I also recognize that there's those who haven't played Pirates of Maracaibo. For the second group, please play Pirates of Maracaibo. Report back to me, tell me what you like more. For the first group, hey, we all have different opinions, I get that. For me, and also bias on which one you played first could be a factor too. Sometimes that helps you like really cement liking a game. Overall, Maracaibo is fine. I enjoyed Maracaibo. I like, not more than fine. I'd give it, I'm being colored. I'd give it a 4 out of 5 right now. I'm being colored negatively because it feels reminiscent to a game that I give a 5 out of 5. And so that often colors me against the game a little bit. But I enjoyed Maracaibo. I want to play it in person, which I wouldn't bother doing if I didn't enjoy it. And I want to play it possibly more on BGA 2 to lock in those rules. But overall, you're going around a rondelle. You're kind of working around this map. It's basically, it's a rondelle, but it's a map. You move around the board. You stop at various locations. You place down your crew. You buy various cards. You engage in combat. It's kind of reminiscent to Pirates of Maracaibo, just less fun so far. There's also like your crew board. Lots of the elements are there. It really feels like Pirates of Maracaibo is just a straight up better game, but I am open to being wrong, and I plan on playing it more to, well, to find out. So we'll see. And then my number 1 is Darwin's Journey, which you have seen a review on the channel, but Darwin's Journey I played for the first time on Board Game Arena, and any game I played for the first time on Board Game Arena does show up on this list. I tried it on Board Game Arena because I was like, you know what, I have Darwin's Journey in my collection, I should play this. And so I got together with 2 patrons actually, played it on Board Game Arena, and I love this game. I love this game. I cannot tell you how much I love it. I need to play the expansion. That's still on my list of things to do. But dear Lord, I have played this game, I don't know, 15, 20 times between in-person and on BGA, which for a game that's not a short game, an hour and a half game, 2-hour game, that I only discovered for the first time in, what, November, December, something like that, and to have played it 15, 20 times, I should also note, I'm probably filming this. I have 2 of these 17 review things in the queue, so I'm filming this in February right now, which means, from my timeline, I have played this 20-ish times in the past 2 months, basically 2.5 months, which is a lot for a game like this, and I will happily continue to play it. It's just such a good game of just trying to figure out how to optimize. Again, this is the tricky part. My least favorite game on this list is Anachrony. My most favorite game on this list is Darwin's Journey. Both of them could be argued to be just how you combine things to get the most points. That's ultimately what both of them are doing. They're worker placement games where you're trying to optimize the combination of facets together and then get the most points from everyone else. For some reason, one of these games I've bounced off hard multiple times. The other one is one of my favorite games of all time that I believe I put this as number 6. I put this like either as number 5, number 6, somewhere like maybe number 7 as my highest rated games of all time in 2025. I think this will be higher in 2026, for sure if the expansion makes it better. For sure, because I keep coming back to it and I keep loving the synergies, and I have not gotten bored of trying to min-max based on the combination of everything in play as well as how the players play the game. I adore Darwin's Journey. It is not the easiest game to learn, but it's also not the hardest game to learn. One of my favorite games of all time. Incredible game. Absolutely amazing. It's a great game. Anyways, those are 17 more Board Game Arena reviews for you. I'll be back when I've played the next 17 new to me games on Board Game Arena. I need to start putting these videos up more frequently because I keep playing Board Game Arena games fast enough that I either need to start calling this 34 Board Game Arena games or putting these videos up on the channel faster. Anyways, until next time, I'm Alex Radical from Board Game Co. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, I hope you have a good one.